Hello, everybody. Welcome to One More with Danny Coleman. I am Danny Coleman, and this is One More. We're coming to you live from Monmouth Music in Red Bank, New Jersey, here in the heart of downtown Red Bank. We are sponsored this evening by Monmouth Music of Red Bank, New Jersey, as well as the Downtown All-Stars of Red Bank, New Jersey, and by Antoinette Boulangerie, who have provided for us these beautiful pastries. Nash, are they beautiful pastries or what? Nash went Facebook Live with us.
He did.
Prior
so
day.
he was one of. Oh, so were we 3 deep or 4 deep?
We were deep.
Oh,
no, he wasn't. He was just in. He was not on.
He was just there. He wasn't
yes.
deepening the
He
live.
participated in the filming.
That's
yes.
fine. That counts.
That's correct.
All right, good.
Again, this is One More with Danny Coleman. I'm Danny Coleman, and this is the show that is going to bring you one more of hopefully things you enjoy. One more author, one more musician, one more entertainer, one more actor, one more actress. If there's something that you want to see on this program, please email me at dcoleman.drice, D-R-I-C-E, dcoleman.drice, not D-O-T, but the period, Drice, dcoleman.drice at gmail.com. And we will gladly see what we can do with your suggestions. Suggestions!
So who called or emailed you for me?
Oh,
And also, did their voice kind of sound like mine, but a little deeper?
yes, it did.
You all fell for it.
My guest tonight is one of my favorite interviews of all time, actually. And you laugh because you know I'm right.
I know.
Usually, it's a much more difficult interview for me, as much it's fun as can be, but it's much more difficult because the rest of the band kind of makes it impossible. What was the term I used?
Eating soup with a fork.
Eating soup with a fork to interview Charles Laurita and the Mischief. But tonight we just have Charles Laurita. Thank you, Charles. Hey. Yes, thank you, studio audience.
Thank you, guys.
Clap. Thank you.
And this is going to be much worse.
Is it?
Yeah, it's one-on-one, one more.
Whoa.
Yeah. I know.
Like a camping trip, man.
Well,
intense. Anyway.
Roll credits.
Right, that's it. Good night. Charles is from Hamilton, New Jersey, and incredibly talented young musician, songwriter, transcriber, transformer. You're like that yellow car, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, pretty much.
Tell me what's going on, buddy.
I'm here. There's some nice croissants.
Croissant.
Oh.
That's a dizzying array, and you'll hear all about that later.
I am intrigued. I would like to know more about that.
Now okay. You've been playing the guitar for how long?
I started playing the guitar specifically when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
10 years old was when I started, which I went from the violin, which a lot of kids in my, all started like third grade.
When they introduced music to you.
Yeah, and I remember sticking with that because you had an option when you were in third grade. You had an option in fourth grade to start with brass and woodwind. And I remember going to hear the school band play, and the band teacher was like, "This is why you should switch to band." And they weren't very good, so I think I stuck with strings specifically because of that, because I didn't want to sound like either you have like the young kids doing trombone, it sounds like a Mack truck going down the highway, or you have it sounds like a bunch of duck calls. So I didn't want to be that.
Okay.
I wanted to sound like screechy cat noises on a violin. I much would rather have that because that's what it sounded like back then. So I stuck with that until I was.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and then I went to middle school, and that's when I started the guitar, and relearning violin was very difficult from that point. So.
Okay. Now, and your teacher was
Ernie White.
Ernie White,
was my teacher.
right? Yeah. And it's funny because I've seen you on the same bill with Ernie, and Obi Wan has taught you well.
yeah.
Actually, I remember. I'm going to go back to when Teddy Z was alive at the Cedar Pub. I remember seeing you performed there with the band, with the Mischief.
Was this in the physical pub or in the big room?
In the pub.
Yeah.
In the pub. And I remember walking in. I didn't even think I had a drink in my hand yet, which was a travesty. I must add. It was just
Yeah.
I can't believe Charles Senior is over there. I cannot believe that I did not have a drink in my hand by the time this occurred.
Yeah.
You sat down. You were playing, and you come over and you sit down at the table, and I think it was Gene from Hamilton Radio.
Yeah, it was,
His family was there.
It was Gina's family, and then Ruben was there too.
Yeah, and you took your guitar and just kind of plopped it on the table like it was some sort of lap steel, and picked up a shot glass and just started playing slide, and it was like beautiful.
Thank you.
I said, and right there and then I knew, I thought to myself, then you were much younger.
Yeah. Oh God.
I said, this kid's got it.
Thank you.
You're an entertainer. You're funny on stage. You can
funny all the time, Danny.
That's true. That's true.
Thank you.
Kind of like the light over there.
Yes.
Right? Makes everything look beautiful in any light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See how we are.
Yeah.
Mario is here. Mario.
Hey, Mario.
Monmouth Music. He's blinded by the light. Ooh, how ironic that
Yeah.
we say that in this area. But I've seen you do some amazing things with the guitar
Thank you.
and the band, and how ironic is it that those same woodwinds and trombones you now have in
Well, them guys.
the Mischief.
I always it's funny because I try not to brag about my own band, but I do brag about my guys because them guys are good, and I will always give them their credit and their dues. So luckily, since they do not sound like any kind of Mack truck going down the highway. They know they could bring it. Those guys, those boys are good, and that's why I have them. Obviously, they're very good band members. We're like a family. They're like the brothers that I begged for and never got. Yeah,
I'm not. I can hear your father over there. I'm going to. We'll get this. I'm not sure which camera we're on right now, but right there with Nash. Right, that is your debut disc.
you can
Right there.
try to guess which one I am.
I see that. Beautiful caricatures.
Thank you.
A couple of these band members on this disc are
No,
no longer Mischief
no,
makers, but
that was Gen 1
this was the very first
for all
one,
the collectors out there.
which some of my favorite tunes that you do are on that disc.
Thank you.
It should be known that Charles writes, again, all his own music, and the things that you did with the cover tunes,
Oh yeah.
you might as well have written those songs just a totally different way. I mean, you cover the Spice Girls.
Well, you have to.
cover Prince. You covered who else?
Oh, we did everything. We did the Eurythmics. We did Johnny Cash. We did a whole bunch of Disney stuff
Yes.
because you have to. And that was my whole big thing with that band. You have
You
to.
have to do Disney.
That was my whole big thing with that band before we really broke into the Mischief. When we really started covering a lot of stuff, was I always said there was a very big difference between an imitation or a tribute act and then a cover act, and there was a very big difference between that. And that was what I really wanted to do. If any of the songs that I did were never any really A-sides, anything really popular, it was always songs you had heard, but they weren't maybe radio-worthy or thing, but we'd always do them in our own style. And I thought that was very important to do, and I thought that was truly covering a song. Now, I may be completely wrong about that sort of philosophy, but that's always what I thought to do.
Well, the thing is, you did them in such a style that was either straightforward rock or funk.
Yeah, that was what we did.
Because you're a very funky performer. Your style of guitar, well, you can play any style actually, but the style
Thank you.
when you get going like that, and your originals reflect a lot of that as well.
Yeah, that was a big kind of culmination from everything that I'd listened to over time. And it's actually funny that you had brought the whole about the slide guitar on the table kind of thing with the cover band at the time, because that was one of the things I implemented. Because I didn't want to do a whole lot of the big showman acts like that. Because, I mean, they were kind of gimmick-esque in a degree, but it was one of those things where it was, we have a long set to do for the night. And it's like, how do I keep people interested? So some of the places that we would play, I would... the bartenders didn't mind if I got up and walked on the bar, and I would do that kind of shtick, or playing on the table just to get people interested. Wow, they never really seen anyone do a whole lot of that before. Like, that was that was pretty cool. Were you guys passing notes?
Well, you weren't supposed to call me out on it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, now you have to read it to the whole class. But it was, you know, a lot of that implemented into the show. Was kind of fun to keep it fresh. And I had some pretty scary experiences with some of that too. I'll never forget. There was a place on Route 1. It was BT Bistro, which is now called Pure.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had played, and they had a big concrete bar, and the owner always loved if I had my wireless and walk on the bar. And one time, around this time, because it was around Christmas, I walked on the bar, and they had low-hanging Christmas lights. And man, my hair tangled completely.
Oh,
I remember
no.
it was me, and I'm up there, and I can't move. And it was either my dad or Roadie Mike or somebody came in and had to, like, untangle me. And it was horrifying, and that was probably the longest version of whatever song that was.
Nice.
But then, you know, from doing all of that cover stuff and listening to the wide array of what we did, that kind of brought all of my own music together. And it was just, it wasn't any sort of straight style that we emulated to get that. So we'd been on build with tons of funk groups. And that's why I don't even like coining ourselves as funk, because we always said alternative funk, because it's there. We like to think we're grooving, we're moving, that kind of thing, but it's not a straight, you know, sort of thing. We'd been on bands where they were just a complete, you know, not imitation, but very, very, very heavily influenced by, like, Tower of Power. And it's always the same kind of thing. So whenever we got up and did our thing, it was a lot different. And our sax player, Chandler Scales, he eloquently put it that we were the love child of James Brown and Black Sabbath. And I love that. That makes me very happy on a few levels. So we were the more riff-heavy kind of funk. We were a lot heavier, we were a lot dirtier, that kind of a thing. It wasn't the straight norm. And I didn't do that on purpose.
Right, well, you fellas were just, I mean, I remember the show at the Saint.
Yes.
And you opened up for, was it Slow? What was the name of their?
Wasn't the Flow?
The Flow.
Those guys were great. I loved all those.
They were, but they got on stage, and the first thing their guitar player did was give you a shout out.
That was very cool.
And I was like, whoa, you know, that was good stuff. And the place was packed.
That was a very good night.
I got the note that producer director.
Was it from my father? Is it a love note?
No. I would expect nothing less.
Sigh of relief.
It's actually, I want to say hello right now if they are listening, because that's what the note says. Hello to Amy Hewitt.
Oh.
And hello to Lisa Newman.
I know Lisa.
They
hi,
are
Lisa.
both listening, so we'll say hello.
I don't know
to
which
them.
camera I'm looking to say hi. All of them.
They're in the YouTube chat.
Oh, cool.
Talking about you now.
Oh boy.
I remarked before we went on air, and I see you have this whole on stage persona thing.
I'm like that in my own house.
I was going to say, what people don't realize is that you are also pretty much the same way off stage.
I never wanted to be a character, but I turned into my own character, which subsequently was myself.
Imagine that.
Yeah, it's horrifying. But it doesn't. You don't have an off switch. It's a curse. The full moon is out all the time.
Whoa.
But I think I kind of became that way subconsciously, because a lot of musicians who I had known or knew or have been with, they were a completely different person on stage and off stage, and it was kind of an ego thing, and I never wanted to be that. So I was just kind of amplified myself and just be me. Why not?
Who's better at being you than you?
Good question.
See?
Although you've never tried.
That's true. I've never tried to be you.
You have the wig.
I do.
I know.
Just give me another week. I'll have my hair just like that.
Perfect.
Actually, I also remarked that you cut your hair.
I did. I got a couple inches off.
Now, you were talking about that getting tangled in the Christmas lights, but there was a guest on my radio show, a band called Hangman's Cry, heavy metal. Mm-hmm. Right? And these guys all had hair halfway down their back. You know? And the singer one time was, doing the head thing, throwing the head around like that, and his hair got stuck in a guitarist's headstock.
Oh, that's brutal.
And he's like singing the song.
That was mine just gets tangled in lights, because that happened to John and Peters in New Hope. Same thing, low
Yeah,
hanging.
but that
beams.
could happen on stage.
You're
You
right.
don't even have to stand on it.
Well,
the
that was-
ceiling's only this tall.
It was, I had one of two evils, and I got both of them that night. It was I bashed my head into the beam, and then I also got my hair tangled in more Christmas lights. So Christmas is a very traumatic time of year for me.
See that,
Pops
apparently.
is like, oh, you want to help Christmas light the house? And I'm just like in the
You run the
taking
other way?
taking a cold shower with my clothes all on. It's like horrifying.
Now, how do we find you, Charles? Websites?
Well,
and-
Monmouth Music in Red Bank.
Yeah, right now.
Right now is where I am.
Right now. That's where we are.
You can check out charleslaurita.com. Of course, I'm on Facebook. You can check out the band on Facebook. It's facebook.com/CharlesLaurita, The Mischief. There's no ampersand. It's just The Mischief.
Oh, there's no ampersand.
No, they don't let you do that. I was really, really angry. Twitter doesn't let you do that. No one lets you do that.
What's up with that?
I don't know. No one even knows it's called an ampersand.
I know. Except those literary types.
Well, you know, what do you...
Now, as you just, there's a story actually
Oh, which one?
behind those glasses that you have on there. You told me one time that you somewhat suffer from stage fright.
Oh, it's horrifying. Also, these are prescriptions, so it's kind of cool.
So it helps.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it helps tremendously. And there was always a couple reasons behind it. It was this. It's kind of my comfort zone thing.
Right.
I have. Yeah, and that was, you know, until recently I was always very quiet and very private about that. No one ever knew, which is good because I played it off very well, I guess. Or I'm just a good actor. But yeah, I'd always, you know, in the past 3 or 4 years, I'd never had it before, and it just kind of sprung on me one day. I'll never forget. It was we were playing at Art All Night, which was during the day at this point. So it was Art All Day at night.
Part of the 24 hours. Of
Yeah,
art.
it was in there. It was the final kind of stretch, and it was we had a gig the night after our CD release party for this guy.
For that disc. I was
And
there.
You were there.
I emceed it, didn't I?
You did.
I did.
You
Okay.
did.
See what? It just.
And I remember we had to go on stage, and I just had this massive, massive, horrible anxiety attack, and I had never had that, and I didn't know what it was, and I thought I was, you know, sick or coming down with something at the time, and it was not fun. And after that, it started to kind of get worse and worse, and then I, you know, kind of had a moment to myself where I was like, man, I really don't want to do this anymore. And that's when I realized, hold up, there's something going on with this. So, you know, unbeknownst to most of the public, I've gone to therapy for a long time to deal with anxiety problems.
Okay.
And that's kind of where the sunglasses came in for one, more or less. So they were a comfort zone kind of thing because it's, you know, it's like, it's the magic glasses. No one can see you, even though everyone can see you and you're in front and you have to look pretty and your hair has to be nice. So it was that sort of thing. Also, when I play, my eyes are shut, but not in a cool way. It's more of like I'm like really a sleep zombie kind of way. So in photographs, it just looks like I'm not photogenic. So that always also helps because you can't see my eyes. So it's kind of nice. And they're big and they cover most of my face. So it's just that kind of vibe. But then the worst part is, Howard Stern, Weird Al, Russell Brand. Russell Brand, I don't mind. That's cool. He's very well-spoken. He's very British. He's very hoity-toity. That's cool. But the Howard Stern and Weird Al.
I've never
kind of
heard
thing.
Russell Brand.
Oh, he's great.
Weird Al, yes. Howard
Yeah.
Stern, yes. But I've never heard anybody compare you to Russell Brand.
I don't know if I could. I mean, with the microphone in front of me now, I feel like I could totally Howard Stern. I could be like, "Hey, how you guys doing the Howard Stern?" I don't do a Howard Stern voice. I'm not prepared. But if I was to Howard Stern, your top would be off right now, and that would be my Howard Stern impression.
Wow.
Unanimous laughs throughout the building. I love it. I live for this. So
I wanted
No,
him.
God,
I
no.
wanted him on this show, Ned.
he didn't. He really didn't. But so, you know, one of the big main contributors to my anxiety thing was always getting the places to play and immediately having to rush up on stage and this and that. So even like kind of what we did here tonight, where I came, I talked to everybody, I cased the joint a little bit, we laughed, we had fun. You get comfortable, and it's something to just kind of do. And it's always a shame, not a shame, but when people are always in the mindset where, just don't be nervous. Just don't have anxiety. It's like, I'm cured, I'm healed. And it's not one of those kind of things.
Well, Lisa Sherman, who was on here a couple of weeks ago, she was, you know, she had her own television show when she lived in New Zealand. She was an actress, a Broadway actress.
Yeah.
She was in West Side Story.
Yeah,
she
I've
was,
heard of that.
You know, she was a rockette. Mm-hmm. She said whenever she'd go for an audition, she was always petrified, nervous as could be. She would picture everybody in thongs 3 sizes too small, even the men.
Well, you remember the last time I was nervous.
No, I'm not taking my top off.
No, it was so
but,
cold.
But you need to keep those eyes open, Charles, for the next charity compilation CD produced by the Downtown All-Stars of Red Bank.
Oh, nice.
Magic on the Navasink will feature original works by Colossal Street Jam, DJ Pinelli, Dawn Hopkins, John Hathaway, and more. Magic on the Navasink is being produced to benefit the Red Bank Elks Lodge number 233 Veterans Charities Support Programs. The Downtown All-Stars first compilation CD, Bright Lights on Broad Street, was in support of Little Kids Rock, which provides free music instruction and instruments to underserved public school districts across the United States. Yeah. That's available on the Downtown All-Stars website and from select retailers.
See, I will keep my eyes open for that.
That's
And
right.
even better, these are polarized, so there'll be no glare. So I'm
Then
ready to go.
You can't miss it.
No,
That's right.
I couldn't if I tried.
Because the Downtown All-Stars of Red Bank LLC is a collective of local musicians and performing artists bound together to raise both funds and awareness for charities and worthy causes using the immeasurable power of music. Go to redbankallstars.com and follow them on Facebook, facebook.com/redbankallstars for more information. So, yeah, the first disc is pretty good. It's all original, all different artists.
Thank you.
All over the place. So
Cool.
And speaking of discs,
Yes,
you're working on a second one.
we are. We're in the finishing stages right now.
Okay.
It was a big one. It still is a big one.
No,
I mean, it's the same size
as that,
physically, but
it's a bigger title.
yeah, I had to outdo it. This was just self-titled, so I kind of wanted to go. So now it's Charles, Laurita, and the Mischief, Interstellar Fortune Teller.
Interstellar Fortune Teller.
Yes.
And what's that all about?
Space, outer space.
Yes.
You kind of have to.
See, I answer my own questions.
That's fine. So that was an idea I kind of had for not necessarily a rock opera, but definitely a concept album
Okay.
that I wanted to do. And I guess I drew a lot of experiences from the whole me going on stage kind of thing, being horrified at different, unfamiliar territory kind of deal. And that's where a whole lot of that came from. And also, this first disc actually kind of works as a prequel to it, if you're following any kind of a storyline to things like that. I'm always, with songwriting, I always try to work in terms of a story for a song, but not overly out front. So it's kind of, you could think what you think it would be. And I've like a lot of people always come up with me and they'll always say, oh, I love this song because it's about X, Y, and Z. And I'll say, great, but it's really A, B, and C. But I don't say that out loud. I do all alphabet songs.
Do you?
Yes.
And
Very Sesame Street. I'm so
forwards
sorry.
and backwards.
Yes.
Can you say the alphabet backwards?
No.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah.
I always
That's a
wondered
skill.
about that. It is.
You can never trust someone who can actually do that because that means they practice that.
Or they're drunk a lot.
Yeah, well.
And they want to be able to pass a DUI test. I would fail. I can't say the alphabet backwards.
That's okay.
Z.
What do you?
That's where I would start.
You're not wrong.
No, I'd be
No.
half right, but they don't give you that kind of credit. Now, on your first disc, Ruled the World.
Yeah, you know that one.
I do.
You know that one very well.
I do. That was fun.
That was
man.
very
And let me
fun.
tell you something. You had the video release party for Ruled the World,
Yes, we
which
did.
if you go to YouTube, people, you can find it at
YouTube.com/Charles Laurita.
and you'll find.
I try to be consistent.
Okay. Well, that's good. You'll see Ruled the World, which I am in. All I know is I'm glad that
The
there's
outtakes
nobody
never
else.
made
it. That's yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you tuning in, we did this video in the style of a 1950s black and white giant monster movie, and obviously there's people talking and acting. It's not synced to any kind of music. So we wanted Danny in it, and he was with Rusty DePasquale, and I wanted them to look like they were frantically doing a radio show. Danny was very typecast, and they were talking back and forth with each other, and then I said the magic words, "Oh, don't worry, you'll never hear anything you guys say." And oh boy, the blooper reel footage.
Yeah,
Magical.
We were a hit at the video release.
Oh, so majestic. I've never had to use that many bleeps in my life. It sounded like a dial tone. It was ridiculous.
And it's,
I mean, I'm not proud of it, but
you're not proud of what our bleeps?
oh, I mean,
Or that you used. Well, when Rusty's doing things like putting a cigarette out in his eye.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
it was wonderful. It was very majestic for
Well,
both of you.
You know what? That was a great. It is a great video. And again,
Thank you.
I urge you go to
Thank you.
YouTube Charles Laurita, and check that out because it is perfectly hokey the way you wanted it to be.
Oh, that's exactly what I wanted.
And it is, but it's great. You designed the miniature set. It was your pet rat that overran the city.
Yes,
it was. You had all local musicians in the thing.
Yeah, we had a lot of people in that. That was. I always wanted to do a video like that, and before I went down to the scale that I did, because that was 1/160th scale, so that's like N gauge for any train nerds out there. I wanted to do it in the style of Godzilla. So whether that be the 50s Godzilla or like a 70s Godzilla in color and that kind of grindhouse-looking film style,
right.
I really wanted to do that large scale. And we were going to originally do it that the band members got mutated into giant human band people hybrids, and we were going to be playing giant instruments made of skyscrapers. And then I kind of toned it back a little bit. So I had no idea how to do this. And I've always watched old monster movies. I love old film. And I've always watched it for, writing purposes, but never watched it for the aesthetic. So to actually dive in and say, okay, how is this shot? How does Hitchcock shoot all these scenes? Like, what are the camera angles? What are they doing with the faces? And to put like a filter on things and to get the grain so it doesn't look like Windows Movie Maker and actually make it look real. And even the fades, because back then they had, you couldn't do a full regular fade. You had to do a bulb fade. So it's how the blacks get, darker, and then everything kind of fades into itself, and just how to make it look authentic. That was my job, for even how hokey the idea of it was. Right. And then even I originally said, I was like, I want to do a giant monster movie. I have no idea how to do this. So it was just, building the sets and everything like that. How do I build it on a budget that I had, which was very, very, very tiny. I'm a musician. Please come to my shows.
Greatest nation in the world, people, is donation. Donate to your local musician. Oh, and Monmouth Music, too. Monmouth, right? Mario?
Yeah,
there you go.
thank you.
Monmouth Music in Red Bank. Go ahead.
But to be able to, kind of start from scratch and to put something together was definitely a learning experience. But I mean, I've always loved things like that. And my whole idea was the sky is the limit with this kind of thing. There's always a way to do it.
Right.
And, one of my big inspirations was Walt Disney. And he definitely, not that I'm ever going to compare myself in that range of genius or anything, but I was inspired heavily because that kind of message transcends the art medium. So just the idea of, this can be done no matter what. There's always a way for it to be done. So, me having to build this giant, ridiculous city scale set, on my dining room table with miniature cars, and we had the cars hooked up to magnets underneath to make them look like move. And just to do that, I knew there was a way to do it, and I just kind of had to sit at the drawing board for a long time and draw. And I think it worked. I think it worked okay.
Oh, it worked fantastic. And then at your video release party, it wasn't, people didn't just walk in, filter in, here's my video, thank you, goodbye.
Oh, no, I have to talk for a long time. That's you're in a room with me, that, look, I'm doing it right now. You didn't even finish that sentence.
Correct.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I like guests like you. Makes my job that much easier.
Thank you.
But you took everybody through step by step how you made the video. Even down to how you put the peanut butter on the bottom of the car so that Zelda would come over and Zelda, the star of the film, the pet rat, how she would come and turn them over and start licking and eating these cars.
I mean, I like stuff like that. That interests me. That always determines whether I'm going to buy a film on DVD or whatever if it has how it was made. I love that kind of stuff, and I always learn from that kind of thing. And it's the one big thing I've always learned from that application of filming things. It's always, go to films. That's where you learn a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And we just had a blast doing that, and especially like you had said with Zelda chasing cars and things. We filmed all of her stuff first, and then we matched the people up to it afterwards. Because instead of doing it vice versa, she was incredibly smart, and we had just kind of a decompression period for a week of just letting her on the table, letting her run through the town, just get used to it so it wasn't overstimulation, just letting her do her thing. She was going underneath it and hiding and coming out. And then once she got used to it, we kind of just started to train her to do little tiny things like go after the cars and stuff like that. And then filmed all of the live action stuff with all of the people. And that was one of the bigger challenges too, because we wanted to film outside, and it's 1950s or early 60s, and we can't get any modern technology in the shot. So any cars, a lot of things were all, worm's eye view angles and Dutch angles were all just shooting up from the ground, and which is very Hitchcock-esque and very Twilight Zone style. So it's like I wanted to do that very tight angle, so it's just face and shoulders, nothing really else. So you really couldn't give anything away.
Where did you get that old car? Whose car was that?
That was the old car. And
yeah,
that was
what was that? First of all,
that's a Ford. That's a Model A.
Okay.
And that's the only car knowledge outside of Transformers that I know. I know all of these like awesome car brands, like, oh, that's a 411 racing Porsche. It's because of Transformers, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
So don't ask me to like change a tire or anything. I'm helpless. Damsel.
We have
I'll
another
take this
note.
one.
Yeah,
I'll come read it to the class.
Charles will take that one. Go ahead.
Oh, this is my boy Steve. He's in the chat too. Hi, Steve. I don't know which camera I'm in right now. Hi, Steve. Thank you for tuning in, dude. I appreciate it. He was one of the contributors to our to the new album coming out. So I appreciate that very, very. I'm gonna stick this one here. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you, Steve.
That's beautiful.
That is awesome.
That's fantastic.
And I always urge it. I'm always, as much as always, I cannot stress that word enough. Just if you're ever in a group, be nice to your fans. Be good to your fans. That's what it always is. Be human to your fans. Don't ever be like you're up on a pedestal and they're far beneath you. I am always one. I use the same bathroom you guys all used today. And I wash my hands. So it's one of those things that's
With water?
so anyway, not important. It's one of those things where it's if you don't have fans or you don't have supporters, it's as an artist you don't have much because
You have your basement.
Yeah.
That's what you have.
yeah. And so I really appreciate everyone who's helped with either coming out to see us or supporting even the video release. Steve was at the video release party too, so that's cool. You know, it's just I love that. That makes me very happy. It makes me what I do feel worthwhile. That people say, look at this goofball. I like this. And I'm like, thanks, guys. That's kind of how it goes. So
If you can touch one person, it's the same as touching 1,000 or 1,000,000.
I'm not going to comment on that.
I know
but
you're not.
Emotionally touching someone, yes, I completely
If
agree.
you can relate.
I can totally relate.
Enrich their lives in
Yes.
some way.
I like
How's
that. I like
Sound
that a
better?
lot.
If you're just tuning in or clicking on or whatever we do in what do we do in modern technology? Tune in,
I
click
don't
on.
know.
what?
You don't have to ever log out because everyone's constantly on their phones.
Correct.
So,
Well, whatever you're doing,
I
to watch
heard one
this.
laugh.
That's right.
so please watch us. Please.
This is One More Danny Coleman. My guest tonight is Charles Laurita. We are coming to you live from Monmouth Music in Red Bank, New Jersey. Thank you once again, Mario Di Bartolo, for allowing us to invade your store every Monday night.
I know him.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah, I think he knows you.
Oh,
too.
I'm
Either
so-
that or he's eyeing you up for some.
Everyone apologized to him for me because I'm so sorry.
Mario, have you guys ever jammed together?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure we have.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
I'm just asking. I'm not sure.
Oh,
You know? I don't
we-
want to overstep my bounds.
That's okay. You've already done that, so we can just keep going.
True. See, the
Tell
fun-
us how horrified you get on stage. Okay, Danny, let me try. We're over there.
I think horrified was your words. I
You're
was just
right.
going to say you have sunglasses and you have a slight condition
Oh,
of stage fright.
I jumped to conclusions.
You took it
didn't I?
everywhere there.
I'm
yeah,
so sorry.
You know me. I don't ask anything of a personal nature.
You're right, and that's why I like you.
That's right. See, I make everybody happy that
Yeah,
way.
that's good.
Whatever you divulge, and usually you divulge a lot.
I have that problem.
Whoa.
My doctor tells me.
Does-
He does. Wait, what do we? No, never
what
mind.
are we talking about? So, the video is fantastic.
Thank you.
I had a blast for that.
Oh, that was a bad
hour or whatever
ball.
it was. We were in your dining room,
Yeah.
which looks like a legitimate radio station.
That was the best part. How much we shot in my own house, and we just super tight angles, so you couldn't see anything else, or with backdrops, or and then color corrected to just make it look like a big black room or anything like that. It was tricky, but it was fun.
Well, again, that the video is for "Ruled the World," which is the opening cut
Mm-hmm.
on your first disc, and let me put these on since
Yeah.
I cannot see without them. On Monday, "Make It Burn," another good one. "When You Look My Way,"
Yeah,
one of my two favorites,
Thank
three
you.
favorites. I like all of these. "Rat Race." You've created,
A monster.
yes, it's alive.
Oh God.
No, but you've created a tune on here, which is it's "Rat Race," I think,
Yeah.
right? From the video game. Which one's from the video game?
Which one from the video game?
Yeah. Which one is the video-based theme?
Oh God. I don't know. That could be any of them. I'm a bigger dweeb than you think I am.
Well, you
Danny.
you used to play it live. That's what it was.
We used to do a whole. That was one of the other things that we
from
did live.
from the old Atari, right?
Oh yeah,
from
it was either the old Nintendo stuff or the old that kind of thing, and that was a blast because I remember I proposed that to the group. I said, guys, let's do an instrumental of a game from our childhood, and it was from the game was Super Mario 64, which is awesome. I'm pretty sure hopefully everyone filming likes this. Yeah, see everybody likes that.
See?
So and we wanted to do the opening stage, and that's called "A Bomb Battlefield," and the song is super catchy. See, it's cool, and we have the horn section. You can do it justice, and we said, that would be really fun because even for teaching, whenever I teach any kind of theory stuff, chord theory, anything like that, I always say the two best things to learn theory for an applicable use is video game music and Disney songs, because they're all very well written. And the gentleman who does all the Mario and Zelda game stuff, Koji Kondo, guy's fantastic. He's phenomenal songwriter. So I said to the guys, I was like, let's do this, because it'll go one of two ways. The first way will be someone will be from our generation and they'll know the song and they'll like it. They've never seen a live band do it, and it'll just kind of strike a chord with them. No pun intended. And they'll say, wow, this really took me back. This was nostalgic. This was great. And then you have people who are from a different generation maybe, and they'll say, wow, this has a pretty cool groove to it. I like this regardless of what it is. And that's always, pretty cool. I mean, sometimes that doesn't go our way. Like when you said we cover Spice Girls, we've, now if you were to eat a sandwich and it was a really good sandwich and you were like, wow, this sandwich is great. And then someone said, this is peanut butter and jelly. And you said, I hate that. This is disgusting. That doesn't work like that. You ate it. It's really good. So usually for listening to music, when you find out who it is, you don't then decide you immediately dismiss it. Right. So we've had that with some of the Spice Girls music that we've done.
Really?
Where we'll do it and they'll say, oh, that song was kicking, that was pumping, whatever. All my 90s phrases. And we'll say, oh, yeah, that's a Spice Girls song. And they'll be like, that was terrible. And it's
don't do that anymore.
To each their own.
Right.
So luckily we haven't had that with any of the video game stuff, which is pretty cool. I mean, we do a ton of that stuff, and that's fun to arrange, because a lot of that music, it's a 30-second loop if you're going back to the older stuff. So I have to arrange it into an actual piece. I mean, with part A, part B, part C, solos, this and that, to make it something, to make it tangible. It can't just be a 30-second loop. One of the hardest that we did, there was a Nintendo game called Castlevania, which was very, very cool. And one of the main themes is called Vampire Killer, which is the coolest name for a song ever. I will never have a song with a better song title than Vampire Killer. And that, I remember that loop is, because that game was from 1987, and you're just running through a level, and it's a 24-second loop. That's it.
I had hair then.
Me? No, I didn't have anything then.
I had hair in 87.
Nice.
Hey?
Yeah. Hopefully more than 24 seconds worth of hair.
I hope so.
Because that's what I put up with, and it was horrible.
Oh.
But then to have to kind of do an arrangement out of that was... But it's a challenge, but I love it. I like doing the whole arrangement kind of thing. So, yes. So we do. So
and people should know that you do all of the horn arrangements and the bass lines and the guitar.
That's the real reason for the big sunglasses, so you don't see my big baggy eyes because I don't sleep. That's pretty much what it is. I've become partially nocturnal.
Oh, that's okay.
No, it's not bad. It's weird sleeping and hanging upside down by my feet, but other than that, you get used to it. We don't have to comment on that
The
any
Lost
farther.
Boys?
Yes.
How many, Nash? Ooh, 2.
2 what?
2. 2 mints in 1. Oh. No. Nash is my right-hand man there. See, now you have to, Audra over here. Audra owns you, man. That's your
Hey,
camera
Audra, how
right
you
there.
doing? I want to give him some love. I want to give all these some love.
I've also, actually, I know Matt's out there listening, and he needs to know that I've actually also, not only have I given Audra a new title, she is the set designer, but she's also, Matt, she also got a raise. Make sure you take care of that. So that's how that works. Yes, you do all of the arrangements for the
love
band.
it.
I remember asking you one time, is it a dictatorship or a democracy? And you throw out the riff and they fiddle, but you pretty much have the final say.
That's always the hardest thing with songwriting in my personal experience of doing it. It's always one of those things where I'm not just writing my part, I'm writing the piece. I'm always envisioning how the whole thing sounds. And I play a bunch of instruments and things like that, so it's always that kind of thing. So it's how do I want the horns to sound, how do I want the guitars and the bass and the drums. So when we have a rehearsal and we're learning a new song, I'm jumping back and forth from instruments and just saying, this is what I'm envisioning, this is what I hear, this, and then drop the sheets in front of the horns. And we always say, what do you guys think? Does it play well? Bass part, what do you think of the bass part? How do you think of the drums? Put your own style on it. That's what I'm always looking to kind of do. So if it all works together, it works well. And it's not that I was ever opposed to other people writing songs in a group, but no matter what kind of a thing we do, it sounds like us. It doesn't sound like you're just picking up a needle, dropping it on a new record kind of thing. It always does sound like us. And I always felt if someone else was to work on a song, luckily, most of the guys I've ever worked with aren't really writers. They're just fabulous players, which is cool. Obviously, they come up with some incredible solo licks and riffs, as you have heard. But at least they like what I'm kind of dishing out to them, which is nice. So, to have that kind of a different style thrown in by someone else writing a different song, it would kind of be a sore thumb. And then also, if anyone splits from the band, then it's like, oh, we can't do these songs anymore because they're somewhere else.
Right.
Kind of thing. So that was another
Correct.
big idea, too.
Which actually you have had happen, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, we're going to talk about this dizzying array.
You know what? We can take a break from talking about me just for that. That's okay.
Just for the pastries?
That's fine.
Well, I would
Understandable.
like to thank Antoinette Boulangerie because they specialize in creating delicate and sophisticated works of art using only the highest quality ingredients. Located at 32 Monmouth Street, right here in the heart of downtown Red Bank, New Jersey, they are a fully operational bakery with all of the baking done on the premises daily. In addition to this handmade variety of croissants and Danish, Antoinette's also offers, and here it is, a dizzying array of traditional French pastries.
I get it now.
Macaroons, cookies, and savory treats. Find them at AntoinetteBoulangerie.com. And Boulangerie is Boulangerie.
That is the most French thing I think we've said this evening. Yeah.
That's right. French. And for dessert, French fries.
I'm sorry. I have to collect myself. That's like a huge inside joke with my father and myself, that whole movie.
$2?
Yes.
That's one of the greatest movies ever made.
That's because I always owe him money for some reason.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Imagine that. Well, that's because you're a struggling artist.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
Music, you eat, drink, and sleep music. I mean, you
I
teach
do.
music, you write music, you
I do.
play
That's
music,
all I do.
you listen to music.
Sometimes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What do you do when you're not doing that?
Sleeping.
Nice.
Maybe.
How many hours?
Oh, we'll say a good solid 20 minutes. A
Excellent.
gentleman's 20 minutes.
Oh,
That's usually
See?
what it is.
it's a kid after my own heart. Right
That's why
there.
actually I'm wearing sunglasses. I'm asleep right now.
You wouldn't be the first.
No. I couldn't do that to you. I can't sleep with you, Dan.
Yeah,
you're,
most
way,
of them.
you're way too handsome.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. I put the little Brooklyn spin on that.
See
You're
that?
you're just handsome.
I see that. I got it.
We can change the subject. I'm done with that.
We can. You know what? I could change your name if you want. We have. Are they laughing at the delay in there? What? The mischief has gone through. It started you and Chandler, right?
Yes, it
Chandler Scales, your sax player.
My right hand man. Or I
Correct.
have a couple right hands. So.
All right.
And that was I specifically remember when, because we had the trio at the time. It was myself, it was Dara Maru on drums, and it was Rick Lucarini on bass. Both guys fantastic. And I remember Rick proposed. He said, "Hey, maybe have Chandler join the band," because he came out and was playing with us now and then. And I remember we were at this adorable little Mexican restaurant, and that's when I proposed to Chandler about being in the band. And he was all about it, and we had been talking at that time about maybe doing some kind of a funk band. And before we had horns, we wanted to have female backup singers, but we quickly learned that having two girls attend the same practice in an orderly fashion was much harder than 6 guys. So it was that was quickly dismissed.
Wow.
But yeah, it started with Chandler and myself,
All right.
and
So,
that's where we had the whole idea from. So.
okay. And you and Chandler, Darwin,
Yes,
were the original members.
it was Gen 1.
Rick Lucarini.
Yep.
And that was pretty much it, right? And then
Yeah,
you-
that was the little quartet.
And then
or
when
the quattro.
you kind of split things. You went with your cover band.
Yeah.
And then you went with the original band,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So in the original band, you used a different bass player,
Yes.
and you added 2 more horns,
The horns, yeah.
trumpet and trombone.
That was rough actually at the time, because we would do the first set would be the cover group, and then to start integrating the Mischief in kind of like a soft opening, they would be the second set, and then the third set would be the cover group again. And it was hard because a lot of people weren't into it. I mean, it was discouraging a lot of times. It was a lot of people where they would say, "Oh, don't do the originals anymore. Just stick with the covers. It's better that way." Or it's, "Oh, you're going to make it doing the cover thing." And it's like, I don't want to do this. I mean, I liked doing it. It was fun. Don't get me wrong.
Where did they think you were going to make it doing the cover thing?
I couldn't even tell you. But it was, I had just, I wanted to write. I wanted to do my own thing. And don't get me wrong.
I wanted you to do your own
Yeah, I
thing.
know. Everybody did. Except those couple people aforementioned. But
Correct.
don't get me wrong. I loved arranging, songs to cover. I still do. We still do it in the band. That's fun to throw one in now and then, just to hear a band do a different version of a song that you might know. But it was tough kind of doing that, because a lot of people would leave. And it's one of those things where it's, wow.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, it's one of those things where I've worked so hard on this, not sleeping ever, and with the insomnia, writing these horn parts and these things and working and putting everything, and then not that I'm expecting everyone to like everything all the time, understandable, but it's one of those things where people I've known for a long time, where they've been supporters of the group, and then it was like, okay, I can see where the line kind of stops, and understandable, they're free to do what they'd like, but it was just it hurt a little bit,
Okay.
in the manliest. You can't see my tears because my sunglasses are so huge,
I know.
and they kind of collect on the bottom. But
That's okay too.
I like the small bursts of laughter from the
Small
other room.
from the control room.
That's
out
wonderful.
There. See, I can't imagine that. I mean, I remember when you made the decision to go all original.
Yeah, it was a big one.
And yeah, it was. But
you were the first person I called because I value our friendship.
you do, I know,
do.
and I value ours, man.
Thanks. You can't the tears that you can't see them still.
I got
but
tears.
that's okay. You can borrow my sunglasses.
Cry on my coffee. Yeah. No, but I remember when you told me that you made that decision, and I was happier than
Than a pig doing
than
what
a
pigs
pig
do.
in things.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was like, yes, finally.
I said yes, but mine was yas, and it had a couple A's in it.
Okay.
That's what the newer kids say.
But to myself,
Yes.
on the inside,
Yes.
I said yes. I said, now we've actually got another original band around here, because at the time we basically only had Ernie,
Yeah.
and Honey Spot,
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
and by you coming in there, I mean, you think about it, and you're the only three bands that used to play the Divey,
Yeah.
or the Ivy Tavern.
No, the Divey. You said it
Yeah,
right.
the Divey Tavern.
You said it right the first time.
But you used to play there, and the only reason you were allowed to play there was because you put people in the place.
Which was actually, I think, on our part, unintentionally genius that we did the cover group first, because we attracted the crowd. And the people who truly did like us and stuck around came to see the original group, which was awesome. I mean, I remember no one knew what they were going to expect, because we kept building up on Facebook. It was the night we played at the pub. It was the night before, I believe the night before Thanksgiving, in the pub. It was the first time the Mischief ever went public. And we destroyed the fire code in that place.
I remember.
And there were people out the door, and it's a good thing no one got arrested. I mean, it's not my fault, but partially. But besides the point. And, my whole aesthetic with this band was, I was like, guys, I want us to rehearse our butts off and really make it seem like we've been playing together for a very long time, so we hit these people like a truck, metaphorically, like a truck or a large vehicle or a big tidal wave or some destructive force of nature.
Yes.
That's what I was going for. And, so when we did it that night and we brought the Mischief out, we had a very, very good response, and that meant everything. And the guys were ecstatic.
Right.
And we were not expecting that at all. I mean, everybody came out. You were there.
I was there.
I was there. That's pretty much
Everybody
everybody.
that matters.
Yeah.
Your mom and dad were there.
Everybody that matters.
Well,
You're right. He did the sound.
He did the sound. So
Father
I guess
did
he
the
mattered.
sound.
Yeah.
No, he does.
And your
matter.
mom
He
kept
knows
track
that.
at the door. So
She did. It was what was the total that night?
yeah, and that room's only
122.
coded for like 80.
Yeah, not even. I think it's at 56.
It's even lower than that.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that was the beauty of that.
That was awesome.
And then your CD release party, because you were
And
on,
you called that on air. That was even better. And we called it
it took guts to do that.
Yeah,
didn't it?
we called Horse Pucky on that. Well, we had a couple reactions. We were like, he's full of crap. And then, that was my reaction. And then everyone else was like, oh, God, we really got to step it up. Can't let Danny down. No one really said that.
Nobody said
No, we were like, oh, man,
I
we
realize that.
now we have like, oh, God, we have these
Great.
standards.
Coleman made a prediction. Now we're
Oh,
screwed.
great.
I know what happened
It was
out
pretty
there.
much that. I mean, there were a couple extra words, but, public YouTube.
At the time, you had only sold what, like 120 tickets or something.
Yeah, we were pretty worried. And it was
And
it
I
was,
said you're going to have at least 400.
yeah, and that's what we got. I think it was like 402, 403.
Yep.
And it was so funny because that night, I remember I stayed backstage the whole time. Mainly, I wanted to save my voice. Also, I was horrified. But it was mainly to save my voice. I actually didn't eat that entire day. I was so nervous. But, I was excited. I had the big adrenaline burst through my system.
That was a great night.
And, man, so when I really got out on stage, that was the first time I saw the entire room. And to have like 400 something. I remember Pops came up in between songs. He was like, we just passed 400. And I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Well, I didn't say that. It was public YouTube can't really. A lot of words, a lot of French words, and
Ooh.
yeah,
Boulangerie.
which I'm going to say right now.
Antoinette.
Yes,
See.
but it was bourgeoisie.
Ah.
That was not one of them, but
No, that's okay too.
a couple extra letters. But yeah, we were. Oh man, we were. That was incredible. To have that amount of support was just unbelievable.
And I was honored to MC it.
We didn't have a
For
choice.
you,
You kind of
you know.
forced your way in.
Did I?
No, we like you enough. Enough.
Yeah, is that why I couldn't get in?
Oh,
wouldn't let me
they
in the
did
door?
let you in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was the problem. Who worked security that night?
Roadie Mike.
Yeah, well, we didn't pay him, so that's why.
I bought him a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
He's good to go.
That's exactly what it was.
Well, and then you'll be having another one for the Interstellar Fortune Teller, which
That's
is due at when are we?
The new year, it'll be there, and the band will be around in the new year because on our slight hiatus, it'll happen.
Which takes me back to two things that we alluded to already earlier. Number one, you are no, not your hair.
Oh,
You are a multi-instrumentalist.
Yes,
You play guitar. You played the other night. You came out and played my drums.
I did. I'm so sorry. You wiped the seat down though.
I did.
Okay, good.
Before and after.
Sanitary.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
With the alcohol wipes.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
It smelled like Jack Daniels.
I was gonna say. God knows that wasn't my ass.
So, and you play the drums. You play bass. You play guitar. You play.
I do all sorts of ukulele, mandolin, all sorts of little string things and percussion.
Pretty much anything with strings.
Banjo. I was eyeing up the banjos out there.
Were you?
I like them. They're nice.
Tell Mario you want to take one home.
To adopt one, I'd love it.
See? Because only Monmouth Music
You're right.
has an adopt a banjo program. Right, Mario?
Absolutely.
Do a
See?
creepy zoom in on my face. Perfect.
$1,000, we have an adopted banjo.
An adopt a banjo program. See? That's all.
Good.
What the heck's the name of that bass out there, Mario? The one that Ronnie Beanstalk played when he was in here?
NEC.
NEC. That's all. You should invest in that one.
Well,
Charles.
because if you don't adopt them, they euthanize them.
Is that what it is?
That's what I've heard. I'm kidding. They wouldn't do that. That's horrible.
No, that's me they're talking about.
Oh, yes. If we don't use you, we euthanize.
We euthanize
That's
me
why we
every-
do a show every week.
Correct. Otherwise, I'm done.
I just like the. Yeah. Oh no.
See, that's the great. See, now you see why I stick with Audra and Nash. I can't count on them guys out there. They're plotting my demise.
So all little commercial input aside, this music store is very impressive. I like the smaller mom and pop shops like this. I like them much better than the very big super industrial corporate stores. I like this. It's not just because I'm biased because I know Mario. I've known him for years, but no, this store is fantastic. It's so nice and neat and clean and organized. Oh God, it warms my heart. I love it.
See that, Mario?
It's awesome.
That's right. Yeah, we'll give
I'm not-
Mario a plug.
I'm not just saying that just because I'm drinking out of the truth serum in this glass, but it's more. No, I sincerely mean that. I walked in and it was incredibly impressive. I'm happy we finally made it down here because I wanted to come.
Well,
for a
being
long
a
time.
guitar player, it you should be in heaven. I mean,
It
there's
was.
guitars lining every wall.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, I think even the Zildjian cymbal section has guitars in it. When we
Yeah, the Zildjian guitars.
Finest quality
Well,
guitars
the Istanbul.
made from genuine Turkish cymbals.
Yes. Yes.
So, what's next, man? Where are we going?
Man, I ain't giving the interview, man. I don't know. Damn, when we switch chairs, I'll do your job
Where's my
for you.
soup and my fork?
Yeah.
Where's my soup and my fork?
You love it, though.
I
You've been
do.
looking forward
I
to
do,
this
man.
probably for years.
I do. I mean, you've got the new band in place now.
Yes, we do.
You texted me the other day. You finally found a replacement bass player.
Yes.
And where did you find him?
Internet?
Oh,
No.
Well, that's, they have all kinds of sites for that. Now.
Through people, we found
Okay.
him.
Word of mouth.
Yes, and it was a very good word.
Okay.
So that was great, and it's just finding musicians. It's difficult. Everybody always has musicianship problems like that. Just finding, and I would never say replaced. I would say just new player, because the players that we have, I mean, you can't replace them. They were
Right.
they were them, and they were when they were in the group. It was awesome, and that was very heartfelt. I do mean that. Like they made it what it was.
Well, from the original Mischief, you now have a new drummer.
We do.
You now have. You no longer have a trombone player,
have
but
Barry
you
sax.
have a baritone sax player.
Oh, that got a big old big end.
Yep.
I mean,
He was the first one to die
that-
in your video, wasn't he? Was he first one eaten by Zelda?
Technically, trumpet player Sean and Dr. John Baum they were in the explosion of the aftermath explosion.
Oh, did that explode?
But the
Oh,
first
okay.
civilian to die, not
Okay.
in charge of the experiment.
Not in
Yes,
charge
he
of
was.
the experiment.
Yeah, he got his car flipped over. God rest his soul.
It's a shame.
We had the budget to flip the car though. But see, what you don't know is you take all of the engine and the heavy parts out when you flip it. Also, we used a miniature and it was a lot cheaper.
How'd he fit in there? He's a pretty tall guy.
Well, the enlarging machine also was shrinking, which you said it the opposite way.
Oh, now I'm not going to go there.
No, the enlarging machine doesn't work that well.
Oh!
Very cold in the laboratory. We're on
Oh.
YouTube. Hi, everybody.
So now you've got this new band, and well, did you play the bass parts on the new recording, or
I
will he
played.
be-
There was 1 or 2 tracks I did
Okay.
on the new album that were left unattended, which is okay.
Okay.
I wrote them. I'd like to think that I know them, which was fine.
Who's going to play them is the question.
Yes.
So you've got the new bass player, the new drummer. Thank you. I cannot thank you again. Have you listened to Rock On Radio to hear your theme song?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
I give you credit every time. I
That
got
was in our brand new surprise home studio that I've never told anyone about until just now.
and you're going to blame me for that one too,
I
like
am.
the glasses.
It's his fault. Very traumatic building that studio.
traumatic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
Very violent. Very vulgar.
Did you brick somebody up in the wall?
Have you ever built a studio before?
No, but I was in your
It's
video. That was
very-
pretty vulgar.
Well, that was all you. I'm a little angel. So
You
I have never said
You were encouraging Rusty and I.
I have never said a bad word in my life. Danny,
True. This is true.
is my nose? It's growing. I can
Well,
feel it.
It's Disney.
It is. I make sailors blush. Let's be honest. This is very difficult on YouTube. It's very difficult. I'm kidding. It's not. I'm dying inside.
Is your mother home watching this?
Yes, she is. Hi, Mom.
Hello, Teresa.
She's probably just shaking her head,
Now,
packing her bags, leaving the house.
for those of you who are just tuning in to One More with Danny Coleman,
We
I'm
really
Danny
apologize.
Coleman. That's Charles Laurita. I have to, this is one of those interviews where it's hard to keep the inside jokes inside.
Inside
But
what?
inside, they're just screaming to get out.
Here?
But the people
Here.
at home who are watching this Amy's in Illinois or
Wow.
out Midwest somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where Lisa is. Well, she's local, I think.
Yeah,
Isn't
she's
she?
fairly
Lisa
local.
Newman? Yeah. We have, those people don't understand. I mean, I've known you for quite a
long
while
time.
now, and it's always fun to interview you. It's fun to
You knew me when I only had like 3 hairs right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
you've
crazy.
expanded.
I
Cool.
know. Well, more real estate
Okay.
to help sell the product.
All right, that's it.
So that's what no one actually knows is you have the sideburns, then you have the front burn, and that's how that works.
Okay.
It has a couple other names, but they're not for public.
For public display.
No, not at all. God, no.
Now I forget. Now we
That's
lost the train
okay.
of thought.
That's why I did
Oh, okay. I remember the very first time I ever interviewed you
Mm-hmm.
in the local Starbucks.
it. Yeah. Because
And
you
you
said,
had
let's meet at
everybody-
a bar or restaurant, and I said, no,
Yeah,
let's
you
meet at
said,
Starbucks.
Let's meet at Starbucks. I don't drink.
No.
Charles is the cleanest rock and roll star I've ever
Which
known.
is very difficult looking the way that I do because, oh boy, do I get judged. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But you do what I got to do. Haircuts are expensive. What do you
I
want?
know.
What do you want?
Sophia came to my radio show
Mhm.
last night, and this year Christmas Spectacular. There was more room
Yeah.
in the room because YouTube.
Well, the hair, the volume.
Woo,
I know.
man. I brought these
curse.
two. These two were on my radio show one time.
Remember the hair kind of
on
like
Rock On
conjoined?
Radio. Yeah, you two
Yeah, we became one.
And they spent, I think, 10 minutes on air talking about hair care products. I mean,
Don't be jealous.
I was,
I'm sorry.
and I probably had more hair than even. I had, all right, maybe 4 more, but the point is, I had it. Yeah.
I would say if you saw what I lose daily in a shower, I could make you like the coolest Fu Manchu. Like I'm completely serious.
Or a Shih Tzu. One or
Well,
the other.
depending. Well,
Now, but I've interviewed you for print.
Mhm.
I've interviewed you for the online publications. I've interviewed you on my radio show. Now here on YouTube.
I'm just attacking you from all angles.
You are.
I'm so sorry.
You've been on my radio show. You've played live. You've done all kinds of things. And It's always been a pleasure,
Likewise,
Mr.
thank you.
Charles.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about Mario real quick
I know him.
because when we come back, we're going to be wrapping things up. No, we got a little bit there to go, but all right, we're going to talk about Mario though, since he's not in the room, but he will be.
Oh, we're talking about him like
yeah,
that.
we're going to talk about him behind his
No,
wall.
hold on.
See, established in 1987, Monmouth Music is located in the center of historic Red Bank, New Jersey. For 30 years, Monmouth Music has served the local and traveling musician with brand name instruments and accessories at everyday low prices. Monmouth Music welcomes aspiring musicians of all levels with a broad selection of affordable instruments, including school orchestra instruments for both sale and rental. Monmouth Music provides student lessons of all levels, once again, by their long-tenured music teaching staff. In addition to providing brand-name instruments and complete lesson plans, Monmouth Music is home to Bob Pinto's Guitar Hospital, specializing in string instrument repairs. There's also an in-house professional amplifier repair service by BP Electronics. Monmouth Music is owner-operated, which ensures that you will get professional and personal service with every visit. Come to Red Bank, New Jersey, and visit Monmouth Music. Make the trip. You won't be disappointed.
I did.
You made the trip.
I did make the trip.
You did, and you're here for a purpose.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
It was nice to see Mr. Sacco when I got here.
I know, that was a very nice warm
He
welcome.
took my parking spot, though.
Now, what do you expect?
And there's an event down the street at the Count Basie Theater, so
Who's playing tonight?
I forget.
I didn't even know you were going to be here. I just popped in.
Did you?
Yeah,
And you just sat down?
I did. I don't know who was supposed to be here.
I think it was we were interviewing Tom, the service dog, tonight, actually. But
Yeah.
you were a much better option. I think.
He's pretty interesting. I don't know.
Well, he's... Yeah. For those of you at home, you may have seen on the One More with Danny Coleman Facebook page a picture of Tom from last week's show, and he had the deer antlers on, sitting all nice and calm in front of the table here.
He is a handsome little fella.
He is, Tom the service dog. And he was... he comes here every week. Every week. This is episode 11. You're episode 11, man. You are one more stream, number 11. Here, we have Tom the service dog
Oh,
coming
I
in.
want to
Tom's
touch
coming
him.
out.
He's coming in to make a cameo over
Oh,
there.
boy.
Here he comes. Can we? Yeah, we can't. He's coming. Now he's stopping with Audra,
Yeah.
his owner. There we go.
Oh,
Here he
he's so
comes.
cute.
There, come here, Tom. There he is. See, we have Tom the service dog. You want to turn around and say hi, Tom? Wave.
See, finally, someone has more hair than I do.
I was going to say he's got to say. There he is.
I don't know, but
That's
he's cuter though.
that's
He's
Tom
pretty-
the
he's
service
pretty
dog.
cute.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything, but make him feel bad.
Tom will sit here. He's going to go over there now.
All right.
But
Later,
thank you, Tom.
Thank you, buddy.
Tom's going to get fan mail now.
Oh, God. That's what we need. You know the rule. You can't have anyone in the room more handsome than me, and you violate the one part of my rider. I asked for green cups with water in it, and then
You got it.
no one had
And you
more
got
handsome
pastries?
than me. I did. That's okay.
Well, I'll tell you,
What are you going to do?
we got Audra a raise and a new title.
Okay. That works. That's fine.
Okay.
Good.
See how that works? And so that's that. So do we have a approximate
An ETA?
date for this for the Interstellar Fortune Teller to launch?
I would like, if not the tail end of winter, spring.
Okay.
But that's at a. I'm just ballparking it in whatever sport you'd like.
Okay.
Which sport has a big field? Cricket? I don't know. Sports are hard. I don't know. Son, come play catch with me. No, Dad, I want to paint. I was like that kid.
I see. I get it. It's all right.
They all laughed at me out there just like they did in high school.
Now that you now that you're now that he's retired,
Yeah.
is he home annoying you while you're trying to compose?
No,
Or
he's
anything?
out flying planes while I'm trying to compose.
He is.
So that's okay.
Model planes or like real planes?
Oh, God, I wouldn't trust him in a real plane.
Wow.
Unless it was like the plane that had to fly real low and trim the trees.
You think?
I don't know. They have those?
How about
Is
a
that
crop,
a plane thing?
How about a crop duster?
Well, that was his wrestling nickname in high school.
The crop duster?
Yes, it was. When we cut tape,
They
I'll
do
tell
have
you.
Helicopters though to trim trees.
Tree trimming helicopter.
They do.
Yeah, they got these massive, scary saws that hang from the bottom of it. You don't want to touch one of them.
That's a
That
good
sounds
job for your dad.
That's like the one they used in that one James Bond movie with Pierce Brosnan. That was the
Massive-
thing. They had that and it cut a car in half.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, he could be the massive, scary saw guy.
Okay. You've never
asking.
seen him do the hedges. Yeah.
Wow. We have Dean over there.
Hi, Dean.
And Dean is there. He has come to see us. And we have, who is your studio audience that you brought with you?
Well, we have my father. He made me.
He made me.
I think they're panning over to the studio. Oh, God, they're all going to hate me. We have my lovely, adorable good luck charm of a girlfriend, Megan. She came with me.
There you go.
It's the nerve calming thing. It's the nice familiarity feeling that I like. So that's
You're
why.
not familiar with me already?
Well, platonically.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry.
He is your son.
So, yeah, and then we have Dean sitting over there, too. Look, Tom, the service dog. We have a nice case of water.
Yeah,
Everybody's here.
We have all kinds of things here.
Yeah.
Mama. We have the wall of music there
We do. I saw that.
behind the studio audience.
Jeez.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
why we like Monmouth music
I
here in
do
Red
like
Bank.
it. I do.
I, all joking aside, I can't thank Mario enough for letting us do this every week.
No, this is
One
awesome.
More with Danny Coleman, live on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch it as soon as you get to the car, and I know you will.
I'm going to have to look at my hair. I'm going to
Of
have to be like,
course.
was it okay? Because let me tell you, the walk from the bathroom to here, the amount of wind and obstacles to mess it up,
There's a possibility.
astronomical.
Astronomical?
Astronomical. I didn't stutter.
Astropholical.
Well, astropholical? That's going to be my autobiography title.
Astropholical?
You are getting no money for that.
Oh, man, but I've got the YouTube rights.
I know, you're right. Crap.
See? That's
No.
how that works.
Well, you know what? That's okay.
So how do you like...
Over easy.
Okay.
I didn't know. I thought you were going to ask eggs. I'm sorry.
we could do that.
No, ask what you're going to ask.
Is that how you cook the eggs for the band in the morning over easy?
Danny, look at me for real. Do I look like I know how to cook an egg?
Yes.
Oh, well, yes, then I do.
There-
We all have our robes with our initials on it. It's very cool. It's like the Partridge Family, but like more hair.
Do you have his and them towels in the bathrooms at the place?
We all share.
We all share?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ooh.
Yeah, well,
Tell me, you seem to, from what I'm gathering,
oh, God.
and I'm probably going to embarrass him
Well.
at this point.
The dog?
But no, not Tom.
Oh.
Tom's a star now. He'll be
Yeah.
getting, like
Hey,
I said,
buddy.
fan mail. Right, Nash? You and I will be bumped right. Move I did.
He's going to
pulling
be
him
sitting right with the glasses and everything.
in, right?
This won't even
Yeah.
be here. That'll be
wearing
gone.
my glasses, reading, probably better than me reading. You seem to have struck a partnership of sorts with Will.
Yeah.
I mean, you two guys wrote my theme song for the
Yeah.
radio show, and you has he taken on more of a advisor role to you in the band along with Chandler? Or?
I would say everybody in the band definitely has their kind of role with me. And the cool thing with all the guys, whenever we never wanted a hired band member, or a hired musician. We always wanted a band member. And the reason for that is it's always, would you hang out with this person? Would you go to a movie with this person? That's always a big thing. And for gelling for a group, that's important. So really for Will and myself, kind of putting together this little studio thing has really helped us bond on an emotional level. So we all kind of have our same kind of thing with. It's cute. You can all say, "Oh, it's fine." Don't.
Aw.
No.
Aw.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ugh.
So yeah, I mean, we spending a lot of hours in a small confined space, which is our little studio we put together, definitely has, brought us a lot closer together, which is cool. So I like that. He's probably watching me right now. He's probably crying.
We're plotting our deaths. one or the
Well,
other.
yeah.
And that's
He's
fine.
probably texting me right now. I keep feeling my phone go off.
Phone is
Yeah.
buzzing.
It's probably inappropriate pictures.
So well, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Which
we will show right now.
We thrive on inappropriate. He's texting you a picture of of Chandler in that bathrobe, I guess.
Probably.
See?
Probably.
How come you are solo tonight anyway? All the other mischief makers unavailable? Or?
Holiday season, working away, that kind of deal.
I get it.
Would you let me say this, Danny? Which was where's the parking space?
And chicken patties. And
Well, of course.
eating soup with a fork and I'm not kidding you. When I
See, if it's a thick soup, you can get away with that.
well, it's chunky.
Yeah, that's more of a chowder, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. And even then, though, you still be difficult.
To each their own.
Maybe.
Okay.
So, how did you arrive?
This is 7, so it'll be 20. I did that in my head. Yeah. But it kind of fit with the story that I wanted to do. I have my super secret toilet when I took a break. That I wanted that kind of a character to be in the story, and it kind of goes with that theme. It's you're in your comfort zone at home, and now you're going to somewhere completely alien to you, and it's how do you make that work? And I could totally relate with that. Hence, I wrote all of the music, and I'm relating with my own music that I'm writing. Redundant, I know.
No, but it is what it is. And I got to stop you there because we got to wrap it up. They're all making funny faces and hand gestures at me.
Well,
they're
what is
waving and they're only using one finger.
Well,
Charles.
what is that any different than when we're off camera?
That's true. But Interstellar Fortune Teller is the new release from Charles Laurita and the Mischief, due out late
This
winter,
year.
early spring,
This
2017.
year. We will be back in the new year. We will be back. We will be playing.
And your
it's
sites
going
again,
to happen.
Charles Laurita.
We have charleslaurita.com. Also, now that I actually am on a public air station, I would like to say thank you to everybody who has donated to the new record. We do really appreciate it. That means the world to us. So we don't want to let anybody down. So it is coming out. We will be gigging in the new year. So charleslaurita.com, facebook.com/charleslaurita, The Mischief. And that's pretty much the URL for everything we're on. I made it consistent. You can find us everywhere.
Okay. Thank you for making the trip. Thank you guys for making the trip and hanging out with us tonight, the studio audience. Thanks to cast and crew. And check out Charles Laurita. He's one of the most talented young artists in the entire planet.
Thank you
That's
to
why
Danny
you got to go
Coleman.
Interstellar.
He's a big butt kisser, and I love it.
So until we go next week with One More with Danny Coleman, we'll be bringing you one more of everything. Actually, next week we have
Get one more of these.
We have Lisa Bouchel.
I know
coming in
her.
here next week. Yes, you do.
She knows
so,
me.
Until then, one more.